Hi all, welcome to Hands-on DevRel. I'm Brendan, and today we're going to continue developing the Hedera Developer course, Building in Public. So I've been checking out Slidev, or rediscovering Slidev to be more accurate, and what I'll be doing now is to create a new Slidev project within the Hedera Dev Courses Git repo. Now, for those of you who don't know what Slidev is, it is a presentation framework that is not a what you see is what you get kind of framework, but rather it is a HTML based framework. So I have just started the presentation and I'm walking through it, and as you can see, it has a lot of different features that are available, and it's all driven by authoring your slides in a markdown file that looks something like this. So you just have YAML front matter to separate the slides, and then each slide is just a simple markdown. So what I'm going to do next is simply to look through the documentation and for the syntax, etc., and I will update my slide markdown file to contain the contents that are based on the Hedera Developer Course 101-02 slides that I created earlier. Here I've just looked up the syntax for importing one markdown file from another, and that is going to be useful because I would like to have the slides in the directory of each folder. So we'll have one master slide deck, and that just imports each of the modules for the course, and each one will have its own slide deck. Okay, so here I've just succeeded in importing the slide into the main slide deck for this particular module, and now I will be essentially using magic slots, as Slidev calls it, to author the slides. So the double colon syntax on either side of a word, that is a magic slot, which I've also just looked up, and I'll be using that to position the content based on the templates that I have used previously. I'm just sort of making up these slots as I go along. I'm not actually using, I haven't actually defined the slots in any layout whatsoever. So that will come later. So what I'm doing now is to create the layouts and naming them, even though they don't yet exist, and just naming them according to the template slide names that I was using previously in Canva. Now I've got a few different slide templates going on, and the next part of it is all about simply getting through the content and copying it across from Canva, the Canva slide deck, as I go along. Now, as I'll just highlight again that I am using the magic slots syntax with a double colon on either side of the name, and I'm making up the slot names in addition to the layout names as well as I go along. So we'll come back to that later. The rest of the next part is just going to be a speed run. I'm going to speed this up significantly more, and it'll show the process of just creating the content as I go along. Alright, so this part gets interesting because I am going to be creating a quiz, and so the quiz slides will have lots of slots, like for question and the choices, etc., which will be interesting. But one of the things that I'm going to experiment with Slidev is that instead of using a HTML CSS thing in order to do the indication of what is the correct answer, I'm going to be using this vmark built-in feature of Slidev, and when I do that, then it'll circle the option in a sort of red pen overlay, which I think is kind of interesting. So let's see how that goes. just completed the quiz section, and now I'm doing a bit of cleanup on the structure and renaming the slide layouts, etc. for a bit. Now I'm working on the slides for the labs, and this part is going to be a bit different because I'm going to use the code slides or the code features of Slidev, namely Shiki and the magic movement feature that it has. So just some advanced features that are possible within Slidev and using Shiki that simply not supported in Google Drive or Canva. So this is like a major plus point of figuring out how to do it with Slidev. So for this particular code snippet, I start off by creating a single code block for a snippet of code, but then I decide that instead of animating it through highlighting one line at a time, instead what I'd rather do is to use the Shiki magic move feature, where it essentially is a quadruple backtick that encapsulates through multiple triple backtick code blocks. And so what it does is it analyzes automatically behind the scenes. It finds out what are the lines that are the same in between those ones, and it shifts them. So I'd like to see the Shiki magic move in action. However, I can't see it because of the code slots. I'm just commenting them out, and then I can see them. I'll just reinstate them and afterwards, and then when I create the layouts, then they should work. Right, yeah, so I'm noticing that I don't have the layouts and I'm getting some error messages. So let's find out all of the layouts. So I'm essentially experimenting with a bunch of Unix commands, sort, unique, and awk to get me the result that I want. And then I'll produce this list of layout names that I need to create. Yeah, so I just need to find the right combination of cut, sort, unique, and I can even do a count using WC. All right. So it looks like I have 17 different slide layouts that I need to create, and essentially I'm going to create a layouts directory and just create 2 layouts for now. My intent here is not to get the full thematic aspects of the layout, but rather it's just a much more manageable one, which is I just want to create 1 div per magic slot name, or slot name I should say, so that I can use magic slots and it'll all render without, just sort of disappearing. And if I can get that going, then that's essentially what I need. It'll allow me to demonstrate a minimum viable, Slidev presentation to show that it could work. Okay, so it's working for the code 1 layout, and now I'm just about to create a code and console layout as well. That's the other code layout, just targeting those two for now. Okay, so it looks like everything is working, and what I'm going to do now is simply to ensure that I've committed all the files correctly on Git, the appropriate files, and then push it to the remote. Here I'm trying to get a list of layout names that are still on the to-do list and put that into the git commit. So just repeating the command from earlier. Alright, so git push, and that's a wrap. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one where I continue to build in public.